Hey guys, Nick Drossos, and welcome to a new series we're gonna be doing with the MMA World UA Champion Xavier. You guys have probably seen some videos with him. So we're gonna be doing a new series. A lot of people have been asking me about sparring. How do you spar as a beginner? What are the do's? What are the don'ts? What are some of the drills? And I'm asking Xavier, I'm training every week with him, and I'm getting back into the sparring again. So we're gonna be doing a weekly video on just this. So we're gonna start by going through the do's and don'ts of sparring. So Xavier.
All right, so to start off, if you're a beginner and you wanna spar, I would always recommend to find adequate partners. All right, partners is super important. You know, you don't wanna end up with someone crazy, you know what I mean? Somebody too big, somebody too small. You have to keep it realistic. As we were talking with Nick before, we were saying how often back in the days, the old school way of thinking was to spar bigger guys. You tell yourself, oh, I spar somebody who's 200 pounds, I'm ready for anybody. No.
It's the idea that you're gonna get stronger, more resilient.
Exactly.
But you get, I know I've been injured because of that.
See,
so
you can get injured, and also you're not adjusting to the right speed or power.
Good point.
Because different weight classes, different speed, different abilities, all right? So partners is super important. You also need to establish a good trust with your partners. Because as a beginner, you don't need to go hard in sparring. There is no point to go hard. You do not own you do not have proper technique or proper form, or you're still developing it, you're still getting better at it. So going hard is a big no. So you need to have a partner that you trust, with who you can just touch. It's called touch sparring. And honestly, even at the professional level, guys like myself and other pros, we get the best, like we really upgrade and we level up by touch sparring, all right? I'll get back to touch sparring after. I just wanted to say, super important, partners. Another thing that comes in with partners, apart from size and trust, is experience.
good point.
So, when you just start, you can go with somebody more experienced if you trust him and he's not gonna hurt you, all right? If not, it's better to spar with somebody on the same level as you. Why is that? There's a few reasons why. First, you don't want to always be on the defensive. There's no point to always be on the defensive because you're scared.
And I'm just gonna talk about that. When I would train with Davis, I was always on defensive because I know the power and that he would come in.
Yeah.
And I started sparring more defensively.
Yes.
Took less risk, less chances of trying stuff.
Yes.
So it was kind of counterproductive as well to my confidence in being a little bit more comfortable. So that's a really interesting point.
Exactly. That's exactly it. You need, it's like I hate to bring up that example, but dog fighting. When you do dog fighting, usually breeders, they make sure that their dog wins every fight. You know what I mean? You're not like, it's a crazy example, but people have their dogs killing other dogs until they're ready to fight. So the dog never even has a glimpse of losing, never even thinks of losing. That's huge in fighting, all right? So when you spar, I'm not saying you have to be the king, you have to win all the time. I'm just saying there's no point to go with someone who's always going to hurt you, who's always going to put you in your place. And like Nick said, it's gonna make you hesitate. It's counterproductive, all right? So that's regarding partners. Now, regarding touch sparring, what's super important when you touch spar is proper equipment. You need 16-ounce gloves.
Good point.
You need a helmet. You need shin pads. You need knee pads if you're gonna need. You need a mouthpiece and a jock strap. Trust me, there's guys who've lost testicles fighting.
Yeah. That stupid shit.
Yeah.
Back in the day, 20 years ago, that's how it was. It was like, take a pair of gloves and just go in, whatever
Orange
happens.
peel,
Just stupid shit.
You know, like I've known a few guys losing testicles sparring, not even fighting. So imagine how you're not even getting paid. You know what I mean? So proper equipment, mouthpiece, jockstrap, headgear, 16-ounce gloves, shin pads, all right? That's super important. And keep open palms when you do touch sparring. That means that you don't need to cock your fist and turn the weight. You're keeping an open palm. You're going for the touch, all right? In the end, that's what matters the most, movement. If you're able to touch up, you're not trying to
Put the power into it.
Put the power.
And we're gonna show you guys later how to do that. In the next video, we're gonna do a series of sparring drills that you could do as a beginner. So we're gonna be covering that.
Exactly. So all these things are super important regarding sparring. Now I'm gonna go over the last and most obvious one, being supervised. Supervision. There's no point to spar just you and your friend if you guys are both beginners, because it's either gonna go out of hand, it's gonna go out of control. you need to also have somebody who's supervising you in a proper, adequate environment. You know, you cannot be sparring on concrete. You know what I mean? You have to be sparring in the right, proper conditions. And as you get better, as you start finding your touch, finding your rhythm, finding, breaking down all the bad habits, then after that you can actually move on to harder sparring. There's a few cons that go with touch sparring that I want to cover right now to make sure that you don't make a mistake by thinking, okay, well, look, I'm touch sparring, I'm going light and everything. Look, the two biggest mistakes you can make is not going in a real-time speed. You're not going in real fight speed, which means I'm with Nick and we're just sparring slow like this. This is not good. When you touch spar, you still go fast. You know, if I touch him, it won't hurt him. I have to know that my jab or my cross won't hurt him. My hand is open. It's just gonna fold on his face, but you have to be fast. You have to be super fast because...
So it's the same movement, but no finishing at the end.
Exactly. All right, that's one. And two, you can develop bad habits if you're too nonchalant. You know, if you're too careless and you're like, oh, this guy, his hands are open, they won't hurt me anyway.
You still gotta look at it like you're actually like that.
Yes.
If that connects, there would be damage.
For me, that's the biggest point for me for touch sparring. When I touch spar with the guys, even if like the guy barely scrapes me like this, I say, oh, that's 1 point for him. I tell myself, okay, that wasn't good. That's 1 point for him. You have to be conscious, you know, and you have to know when you made a mistake. You have to know when you actually touch without dealing or taking the damage. So like that, you don't develop bad habits, like having your hands down or just being slow and thinking you're good because touch sparring goes well. No. All right, and then after that, you guys move on to hard sparring. And there's
when should somebody move on to hard sparring?
Honestly, like I said, always under supervision. When the coach, when the person in charge, your coach, the supervisor, feels like you can. You know what I mean? When it feels like you have the skill level, your defense is good enough so you don't get hurt. You know what I mean? Your defense is good enough so you don't get injured, and your offense is good enough so you can actually put in some work. Yeah.
Okay, so guys, I mean, we're gonna, the next video we're gonna make is we're gonna do a couple of drills, light sparring that you could do with a partner. Again, it's about safety. For most of you who've never sparred, never experienced maybe getting hit in the face, a lot of people tell me, Nick, should I just go out and get punched in the face I've heard people ask me this question, should I just get hit in the face? Like, I mean, at the end, you don't want to get a concussion. At the end, it's not worth it. You're here to learn and to be productive with what you're teaching, right? So you got to think about as well your safety and being smart in how you're going to learn, or else you're going to always be counterproductive to your training. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave us a comment below in the box, as well as make sure to check out Xavier MMA, his YouTube channel, for more MMA tips. I'm going to put the link in the comment box. I want to thank you guys for watching. Make sure to watch the next video because we're going to be doing some light sparring.